Betsy Baker, president of YourGrantAuthority.com, is with us here today all the way from Atlanta. Hello, Betsy.
Hello, Rod. It's good to be here.
Well, it's good to have you here. You know, I know you're real involved in the online communities, in the social network, especially LinkedIn. I see your stuff there everywhere.
Yeah.
How do you do all that? How do you create all that content?
Well, you know, Rod, it is really a balancing act, and just the very fact that I'm a consultant and I work on my own time schedule. If I have to get up sometimes at 6 in the morning, that's what it takes. I have a 4-year-old, and so there's a real balancing act to it. But you know, my passion is to teach others about grant writing. So
you get a lot of calls these days from folks who are looking to learn about how to become a consultant.
Right.
And you know, that's not what we do, but I know it's what you do. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Oh, sure.
How does somebody who's interested in exploring grants as a profession, how do they go down that path? Where do they start?
Well, you know, Rod, I think it depends on 3 factors. These are the things that I have found to be of concern to most people, is money, time, and effort. And so the money part being, you know, they're worried about making money. Am I going to get clients as a consultant? The second thing being time. Just like you said, how do you find time to do all of those things? And we really find time to do those things that are important to us. And then the third is effort. You know, a lot of people come to me that have an interest in consulting, but maybe have a weaker background in grant writing. They've done some, but they have to be able to give the effort in, you know, to put it in, to get that grant funding track record. That's very important when you're a consultant. And so it really comes down to those 3 factors. Know that it's going to cost you some resources to get the correct training. Know that it's going to take some time to develop your business, and then also that it will take effort on your part.
Just in general terms, is it possible for someone to jump out there as a grants consultant? I know I had my experience, which was favorable.
Yes,
yes. And I made it through those startup weeks and months and a couple of years. Do you find that most people have that ability with the right coaching, with the right ideas and strategy?
You know, I really do, and I was in the same situation that you were. I did not have as strong a track record as I do now, you know, because I've been in the consulting business for 10 years. I've been in nonprofit close to 20, so I do have that record established. The thing that I tell people is you don't have to make a living at consulting actually grant writing. You can get paid to do research. You know, that's not rocket science. I mean, it's simply a time issue again. Sifting through those foundations that would be of interest or would be of interest to a funder on the nonprofit that you're researching for. So you can do research. You also can do revisions. You know, it's not so much you have to have that track record right off the bat. And like you said, some of us are very fortunate that we have been able to make a living just right from the beginning.
And one of the things I hear or read a lot is, well, maybe you ought to find a nonprofit that you agree with their mission and go in and volunteer to write some grant proposal for them. And I personally, I can agree with that. I can see that, but I know at the time that I started, I couldn't afford to be a volunteer. You know?
Exactly.
So I took a philosophy that, you know, if I go to McDonald's and fry French fries, they're going to pay me while I learn to do that. So how do you advise your clients?
One of the things I advise definitely is if you have a job, keep it. You know, keep your job, and then do maybe if you can volunteer on the side, that's a great way to do it. If you do absolutely, you know, need money, of course we all do. Do those other things that I suggest, the grant research. You know, that's a really important piece, because so many nonprofits simply do not have the time to do that kind of research. And so not only research the organizations, but you know, they can pay you for follow-up with them. Inquiry letters are not that hard. You know, it's not the same thing as a full-blown grant proposal. So there are other methods that you can employ to make money right off the bat.
Nonprofits especially are the target market for the beginner.
Absolutely.
As opposed to maybe a local government.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they're a little more forgiving as far as your track record. That's personally who I work with. It's always been in the nonprofit arena, and I have just found them satisfying to me to work with.
Okay, so the next big question, and I know you're not expecting this one, I'm going to throw it out there anyway.
Okay.
Because I know you get it all the time, because we sure do too.
Yes.
And that is, should I get paid as a percent of the grant, or how do I get paid, or how does that work? And you know, these videos are going to be viewed by a lot of people who are looking at the grants field as a place to go,
Yes.
and their mind naturally gravitates towards the lifestyle of a mortgage banker, a real estate agent, or somebody like that who gets paid on performance. Talk to me.
Rod, I absolutely do not agree with that. I absolutely, it's so unfair to the grant writer, because there are so many factors that are beyond your control. You know that, being in the grant writing field. I mean, to give you a personal example, we were turned down for a grant that was actually the highest scored application.
Oh my.
And the only reason that we were turned down is they had a set criteria. It was a city government, and they had met the criteria in our category. So that was at the end of a 5-year period. We turned around the very next year, submitted the same grant proposal, and got the exact amount that we were looking for. So it depends on so many factors, not to mention I'm a member of GPA and AFP, and it's against the code of ethics, you know. But you're right, there are people that do it. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you made the mention of the GPA code of ethics, and I think it gives a level playing field, keeps everybody honest.
Right.
Excuse me, and I also know that I've seen instances where a consultant has pressed an organization to accept a grant when it wasn't really in the highest and best interest of the organization to receive that grant, but because they were commission-based,
Chasing those dollars.
they wanted to see that money come in,
That's
and so
right.
they were chasing low-hanging fruit. So, indeed. Okay, so let's say somebody is interested in becoming a grants consultant.
Okay.
They can get involved in all those online discussions, of course, but that never really seems to lead to any sort of conclusion, leadership, ideas, strategies. Right. What do I do next? What do I do after that? This is where you come in. This is what you do. It's part of your practice. So tell me about that. What can you do for folks who are interested in pursuing this as a career?
Okay. I have a couple of options. The first is I have an online group coaching program called Club Grant that's through the YourGrantAuthority.com website. And Club Grant it's a group of people that are grant writers looking to consult. They're all in the baby stages of their consulting career. We have monthly topic calls where we talk about setting fees, using social media to find clients, all of those things that are of interest to grant writing consultant. And so that gives them kind of a safe place and networking, you know, with everyone that's in the exact same spot that they are. And so I have found it is a really great group to lead. And there's also a book that I have coming out. It's called Granted. It will actually be coming from the publisher in November.
Okay.
And it covers both the step-by-step techniques of grant writing and also the proven strategies that grant consultants like myself have used over the past 10 years.
Okay, and so should somebody go to clubgrant.com or Your Grant Authority?
If you'll go to YourGrantAuthority.com/clubgrant, that's where you can find information on the group coaching program.
Okay.
And then if you go to YourGrantAuthority.com/granted, and that's GRANTED, and you can find information on the book.
Any other parting words of wisdom you'd like to throw out there to consultants, both new and old?
You know, yes, the thing is, it's just to stick with it, because it's just like with anything else. You know, I like to give these examples that Julia Roberts once auditioned for All My Children, didn't get the part. Look where she is now. You know, Michael Jordan was actually cut from his high school basketball team.
Yeah.
He kept going, you know, and that's the thing. Persistence really does pay off. And so another, I guess, thing that makes me feel better is that in the United States alone, there are almost 2 million nonprofits. Grant writers are very, you know, we're a very niche community in comparison to all of those nonprofits that need our services. You know, we're in a lot greater demand than we are supply.
Yes, I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
All right. Betsy Baker from YourGrantAuthority.com. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Rod.
All right.